Shalom, shalom, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash, and double honors unto the elder apostles, elder bishops, and brothers at Great Millstone. Shalom also to the brothers that teach a likewise doctrine. Salutations to the whole full elect. This is your brother Rai Banyamian here to share another lesson. And the title of this lesson, UK, which is the United Kingdom, France, and Germany joins in war to defend Gulf allies. All right, as things are moving very, very quickly, man, you can't even keep up. You know what I'm saying? Things are moving quickly, and many countries are entering into the fray. Right, I've even saw a report where Greece said that they will send a few jets and stuff over there into the fighting. Then you have the Kurds entering in to fight against Iran. It's getting crazy, man. So each day something come out, it's like it's outdated in a way, because there's always new characters entering into the war, right? So the Lord told us, to be watchmen upon the walls. So I'm just giving a quick update as to what is going on, and keep updating as you go forward, because things are moving very quickly. But before I go into the article, I wanted to say this, that we need to be prophetically mature, because there's a time of escalation and there's a time of de-escalation. So you see, like right now things are hot, right? And brothers, we're excited to see these prophecies come about. We are confident in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai that he would have mercy upon us. Lord willing, we be of the elect, right? Because not really our action, but of the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. So brothers are glad to see these prophecies unfold. But what about when things kind of cool down a little bit, or it looks to be cooling down a little bit, even though things in the background are still happening, right? So we ought not to slow down praying, slow down doing lessons, slow down fasting, slow down listening to the elders and their lesson, brothers' lessons, behaving ourselves in the sight of the Lord, you know what I mean? Because our people easily forget, right? But the many Lord, they're going to continue because it's their lot. But as the body, people who listen, right, when things cool down and all that, we still have to continue in our lot, right? Being obedient, fearing Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? And this is why we need to be prophetically mature, knowing that there's an escalation and a de-escalation, or a slowing down of prophecy, so to speak, even though things are still moving in that direction. So it may look like it's slowing down, right, to us, looking at a distance from these different various far lands, but things are always happening. So while things may seem to slow down, just continue in your lot, because all that is part of the testing and try, right? So be prophetically mature. Alright, so continuing this article by the Washington Examiner, it says 3 major powers are setting up an increased defense posture in order to defend their allies in the Gulf under assault from Iranian missiles. In a joint statement, the leader on Sunday, leaders of the United Kingdom, now the United Kingdom or the UK makes up of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, right? So remember that UK makes up of 3 countries: England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, right? Yeah, France, which is 4, and Germany, which is 5, said they are appalled by Iranian attack on Gulf countries, which are launched in retaliation for U.S. and Israel joint military operation against the regime. It says the three called on Iran to cease the attacks immediately and vowed to defend their interests and those of our allies in the region. So I saw a report today on the news where the Iranian foreign minister, he said that the time for negotiation is over, because when they tried to negotiate, many times in the past they were attacked, or the meetings were hindered in one way, shape, or form. And he said with this recent one, they were in the middle of talks and stuff when they were attacked. So he said that they are no longer interested in any ceasefire or talking, diplomacy, as they say, right? And this is why, we need to be mindful of the scriptures. When you go into the book of Amos, Salakia, not Amos, Joel, the 3rd chapter, right? It talks about the gathering of these nations over there in West Asia, right? In the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? Jehoshaphat, or Yehoshaphat, Yahweh's judgment, right? And I'll read this right quick, but I'll read it in the AMP. Let's see if I can shift this phone. Hopefully you could see what I'm seeing. So this is Joel chapter 3 and verse 2. It says, and I will gather together all Gentile nations, right? UK, which includes England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, France, and Germany are Edomite nations, Gentile nations, right? That were hostile to my people, you Israelites, right? You 12 tribes, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and those of the speckled birds, right, that look like the other nations, but are really of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And says, and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? The Lord has judged. It says, and there I will deal with them and enter into judgment with them there for their treatment of my people, my inheritance, Israel. Right? So they have enslaved people. They have robbed us. They have spoiled us. They have poisoned us. They have committed experiments on us, and they still do to this day. We are mistreated. We are a byword and a proverb in this world. All right. It says, for the treatment of my people, my inheritance, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. Right, we have been scattered to nations in Africa, Egypt, North, Central, and South America. Right, East Country. We are divided. We are a divided people right now. We are all over. So not everyone is gonna look Negro, Latino, or Native Indian. You're gonna have our people looking like the Ammonites, the Japanese, right? The Germans, right? The Chinese, so on and so forth, right? It says, whom they have scattered among the nations, and because they have encroached on my land and divided it up, right? So they have claimed the land of Israel for themselves, all right? They are in possession of their land, of our land, Salakia. Did I finish? It says, this effort will include enabling necessary appropriate defensive action to destroy Iran's capability to fire missiles and drones at their source, the statement said. We have agreed to work together with the US and allies in the region on this matter, it added. The UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced later that as part of this coordination with the United States, he granted the US permission to use British bases and strike Iranian ballistic missile sites. Now, a couple of years ago, the whole deal with the Russian pipelines and stuff, which America claimed they destroyed one, right? The UK, they used to get their oil from the Russians in the past, right? And this is why the prices in the UK are soaring, right? They said last report I saw it was up to 45%. That energy prices, gas prices, has soared, past 46%, right? So since they no longer had that deal with the Russians, right? After the Russians went into the Ukraine and started attacking them, because Babylon, aka America, wanted to put bases and stuff over there at the Russian border in order to set up a strategic space for them to attack Russia. So the UK, they turned to West Asia for their supply of energy, of oil, of gas, and look at where it's happening. So it's also an economic decision for these countries to come together to go and join in the fighting to stop this war over there in Iran, because it benefits them. Because some of them are no longer getting energy from Russia anymore. They're getting it from West Asia, or what the news may call the Middle East, right? I just wanted to throw that in there. Back to the script here and the AMP. Verse 3. They have cast lots for my people, and have traded a boy for a prostitute, and have sold a girl for wine that they may drink. Right? So all people were on auctioning blocks. Right? Going once, going twice, $20 for this boy. He got good teeth in his mouth. He's strong. His back is unsinged. He has never been whipped, so on and so forth. And they separate families in the process of doing so. Man was separated from their wives and children. Children was separated from their siblings. Right? So they traded them. Right? Our people are scattered, man. All right? This is verse 9. It says, proclaim this among the pagan nations, right? These Edomite nations. Prepare for war. Stir up the mighty men, right? These men of war. Let all the men of war come near. Let them come up, right? So they are being gathered. They are all coming up. As you see, more countries are entering into the fight. I even saw another report today too, where North Korea said that they're gonna bring in ground forces to help Iran. So you see, so they are coming up. Verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So plowshares and pruning hooks are instruments of tools of gardening, farming, growing crops. Right? So a lot of countries have not put as much investment into farming, but into instruments of warfare. Right? Weaponry, guns, tanks, jets, missiles, right? And these things are very, expensive. The intricacies that goes into these weaponry is expensive, right? So they are put in their investments, not into no longer building up the country anymore, but defense and assault. It says, hurry and come, all ye nations, and gather yourselves there. Bring down, O Lord, your mighty ones, right? The soldiers. And as you see, England and UK have sent resources into the area, right, where it says they have given the US permission to use their military bases to strike Iranian ballistic missile sites. Right? Says such strikes will be limited to missile storage depots or launchers in order to cripple the regime's missile program at source, Stammer said. French President Emmanuel Macron also convened an emergency meeting of his defense council, in which he said France would enhance its defensive posture in the region after one of its naval bases was damaged by an Iranian drone. In the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, says it's not clear if German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has taken similar steps yet, but he is scheduled to meet with President Donald Trump on Tuesday. Alright, today's Thursday, so 2 days ago. The statement is a sign that the conflict is expanding significantly, so things are moving very quickly as Iran launches attacks across the region, and as a result, a lot of U.S. citizens are trapped and cannot come home because they cannot get passage or transportation via plane to get back directly to the U.S. They have to take a chance and take buses to other airports in nearby, neighboring countries in order to get a flight out. All right. Let's see. It says it also marks a pivot that Stammer, Macron, and Merz initial position after the U.S. and joined Israel, and after the U.S. and Israel joint operation began. The three previously called for the resumption of nuclear talks instead of a drawn-out conflict. So then nuclear weapons is going to come back and they're going to be used in the fight in the coming days. All right? Babylon will be destroyed by 2 more nuclear fire. But all of that is going to happen when the Lord comes here. Right? There's other prophecies that need to take place. Right? There needs to be earthquakes in diverse places, which are going to do our lesson on. If not after this one, after another one that I would like to do, another update. All right? The mark of the beast, the MOTB, the time of Jacob's trouble, and the coming of the Lord. All right? Verse 12, let the nations be stirred or manipulated, right, into action and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I will sit to judge and punish all surrounding nations. So the Most High is going to destroy them. All right. It says, put a sickle of judgment, for the harvest is ripe. Come tread the grapes, right, the people, for the wine press is full. You understand? So a lot of these nations that are going to be in there with their soldiers and stuff, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to destroy them, man, with 2 more nuclear fire, and also using his angels, his chariots to get the job done. It says the vats overflow. A vat is like a cistern, right, or a pot that hold oil, or wine, right? The vats overflow, for the wickedness of the people is great, right? So the wickedness of the Edomites is great. So he's coming to judge the Edomites and 2/3 that behave like Edomites on this side for their wickedness. And lastly, verse 14, it says, multitudes in the valley of decision, judgment, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision, when judgment is executed. So prophecy is happening. All these nations are joining in, and many more will join in on the fight for when the Lord comes to judge. Man's coming and goings, right, is of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? You understand? It's roughly paraphrasing. So, yeah, man, these leaders, they have no free will, right? They are doing this thing at the movement and direction of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You understand? World War III will come. Alright, so stay prayed up. Be vigilant and keep your eyes open. Watch. Therefore, and pray. Watch. Alright? We have many more things to endure until our Lord come, but things are moving very quickly. So pray and ask the Most High for a spirit of repentance each day. Obey His laws, commandments, and statutes, and pray for mercy and salvation. Until the next time, Shalom.